The latest campaign from Gucci for its Paparazzo handbag line has sparked an unusually intense level of attention, not merely because of its polished high-fashion aesthetic, but because of how deliberately it engages with audience psychology and fandom culture. At the center of this campaign are Zhang Linghe Tian Xiwei, two figures whose pairing already carries significant emotional weight due to their roles in the drama Pursuit of Jade. Their casting alone sets the stage for a layered viewing experience, one that extends beyond fashion and into narrative association. What makes this campaign particularly compelling is that it avoids the most obvious route. There is no shared frame, no direct interaction, no explicit suggestion of a relationship within the campaign imagery itself. Instead, both Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei are presented separately, each occupying their own visual space, yet constructed with such striking similarity that the separation feels almost artificial. The lighting, color grading, composition, and even their facial expressions align so closely that the images begin to mirror each other. The result is a visual dialogue that exists without physical proximity. This is where the campaign's intelligence becomes evident. By withholding direct interaction, Gucci creates a vacuum that the audience instinctively fills. Viewers familiar with Pursuit of Jade do not approach these images as neutral observers. They bring with them an existing emotional framework. That framework transforms two separate portraits into something that feels interconnected. The campaign does not tell a story outright, but it strongly suggests one, allowing the audience to complete it based on prior attachment. The paparazzo bags themselves function as a subtle but crucial narrative device. By placing both actors within the same product line, effectively presenting a couple bag concept, the campaign creates a shared visual anchor. Each carries a variation of the same design language, reinforcing the idea that they belong to the same world, even if they are not physically together. This balance between individuality and unity is key. It ensures that the product remains central, while still enabling a broader emotional reading. Audience reaction has been immediate and revealing. Fans quickly began describing the campaign as a visual couple or even a fake duo, terms that highlight how strongly the imagery evokes relational chemistry without ever confirming it. Some have gone further, calling it a high-fashion CP, borrowing fandom terminology typically reserved for on-screen or narrative pairings. What is notable here is that these interpretations are not imposed by the brand. They emerge organically from the audience, which makes them more powerful and more authentic. From a branding perspective, this approach reflects a sophisticated understanding of contemporary media consumption. Gucci is not simply presenting a product, it is orchestrating a framework for interpretation. In an era where audiences are highly participatory, meaning is no longer delivered in a fixed form. Instead, it is co-created. By offering parallel imagery rather than explicit storytelling, the campaign invites viewers to engage, speculate, and emotionally invest. This strategy also demonstrates how luxury fashion is evolving in its relationship with fandom. Traditionally, high-end brands maintained a certain distance, relying on aspiration and exclusivity. Here, that distance is softened, not by becoming overly accessible, but by tapping into an emotional ecosystem that already exists. The connection between Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei is not created by the campaign, it is leveraged. This allows the brand to achieve a depth of resonance that would be difficult to manufacture independently. At the same time, the campaign does not sacrifice its identity as a luxury product. The visuals remain refined, controlled, and understated. There is no overt fan service, no exaggerated romantic cues, no narrative excess. Everything is restrained, which paradoxically makes the emotional impact stronger. The absence of explicit storytelling creates space for interpretation, and that space becomes the campaign's most powerful asset. Another important aspect is the use of what can be described as parallel visual construction. Each image stands alone, but when viewed together, they form a cohesive conceptual pair. This technique allows the campaign to operate on multiple levels. On the surface, it is a series of fashion images. Beneath that, it becomes a study in symmetry and contrast. And at a deeper level, it transforms into a narrative shaped by audience perception. The digital environment amplifies this effect. Once the images are released, they are no longer controlled solely by the brand. They circulate, are juxtaposed by fans, edited, discussed, and reinterpreted. In this sense, the campaign is designed not just for viewing, but for sharing and recontextualization. The more the audience engages with it, the more layers of meaning it acquires. Ultimately, this campaign illustrates a shift in how fashion communicates value. The Paparazzo handbag is not presented merely as an object of design or status, but as part of a larger emotional and cultural narrative. By aligning itself with the existing chemistry of Pursuit of Jade and its leads, Gucci transforms a product campaign into an experience that feels personal to its audience. It also raises an interesting question about perception and constructed reality. When two individuals can be perceived as a pair without ever sharing the same frame, it reveals how strongly context and memory shape interpretation. The campaign relies on what is implied rather than what is shown, demonstrating that absence can be just as communicative as presence. In the end, the success of this campaign lies in its ability to operate across boundaries. It exists simultaneously as fashion imagery, narrative suggestion, and fandom catalyst. It does not demand attention through spectacle, but earns it through precision and restraint. And in doing so, it offers a clear example of how modern luxury branding can remain sophisticated while still engaging deeply with contemporary cultural dynamics. So in the end, what do you think? Was this pure marketing genius from Gucci? Or did the chemistry between Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei just happen to be too strong to ignore? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this campaign proves one thing. Sometimes, what isn't shown can be even more powerful than what is. And if you enjoyed this kind of deep dive into fashion and visual storytelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.